And now I'm really delighted to introduce to you Hirofumi Katayama. Hirofumi is professor of the College of Arts and Sciences at JF Oberlin University in Tokyo, Japan. His specialty is environmental economics, and he's mainly studied commons theory. He's a pioneer in big history education and study in Japan. He shared the first big history course in Japanese and established the first big history program in Japan. The main theme of his research related on big history is to criticize anthropocentrism of mainstream big history and to build an alternative vision, namely Buddhist big history. I also want to mention that he's just published an excellent article in the Journal of Big History. And so we are delighted to have Hiro here with us, and thank you for your presentation, Hiro. It's all yours.
And I will start with left accelerationism. The term accelerationism became popular since this document in 2013 by Williams and Srinchek. And the next year, Mackay and Avanesian published The Accelerationist Reader, and they wrote an important introduction in the book. They tried to find a way to liberate from capitalism while remaining within it. Mackay and Avanesian said, the only radical political response to capitalism is not to protest, disrupt, or critique, but to accelerate its tendencies. Their goal is liberation from capitalism through the acceleration of capitalist technology development. Manifesto pointed out that the technologies of capitalism have possibilities of less work or less stress, but capitalism doesn't realize less work. They want to unleash productive forces of capitalism instead of destroying them. The necessary thing is repurposing them toward common ends. Technologies are subordinated to the end of capitalism. We should put them under collective self-control and use them for liberating humans from labor with social institutions such as basic income. One of the characteristics of left accelerationism is they criticize existing left-wing political attitudes towards capitalism and call them folk politics. Folk politics promote localism, direct action, and horizontalism. On the contrary, accelerationist politics accept modernity and its complexity, globality, and technology without hesitation. Manifesto criticized folk politics that they are content to establish temporary small spaces without facing today's advanced technology. They consider themselves the legitimate successors of the Enlightenment. Manifesto said that accelerationism will complete the Enlightenment project of self-criticism and self-mastery, and it will realize the dream of Homo sapiens toward expansion beyond the limitations of the Earth and our immediate earthly focus. It is only a post-capitalist society made possible by an accelerationist politics, which will ever be capable of delivering on the promissory note of the mid-20th century's space programs. Next, let's look at the arguments of right-wing accelerationism. Right accelerationism has the orientation of libertarianism and transhumanism. They try to realize new evolution beyond singularity through technologies brought about by capitalism, such as artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, genetic engineering. Nick Land is a leading proponent of right accelerationism. In his book, The Dark Enlightenment, he discussed how to overcome race problems. He believes that race problems stem from human beings' biodiversity. It means that we redefine ourselves as technoplastic beings. We go towards formation of new species. He said also it is evolution. This is a coined word combining evolution with the prefix EU, which means good or excellent. It will enable us to emerge as Homo autocatalyticus, that is, production of humans by humans through technology. Land argued that it will eliminate the contradiction between hereditarian determinism and social constructivism. He expressed the contradiction by the words, the right likes genes and the left likes culture. He aims to overcome this Kantian dualism and exceed the threshold of nature-culture fusion. Some argue that the acceleration phenomenon is a consequence of cosmic evolution. One of them is Julian Huxley. He is a prominent biologist who lived from the end of the 19th century to the latter half of the 20th century, and is one of the pioneering big historians. Huxley pointed that cosmic history has three stages of evolution: inorganic, biological, and psychosocial. He found a tendency of increasing complexity in the cosmic evolution, as big historians do. Human being is part of a comprehensive evolutionary process, and human is the sole heir of evolutionary process. Human's destiny is to be the sole agent for the future evolution of this planet. From this viewpoint, he advocated evolutionary humanism. He argued that evolutionary humanism can overcome divisionism and realize the unity of all mankind. I think evolutionary humanism is the best achievement of applying big history to humanism in the era of Cold War. It tried to bring unity to divided and fragmented world by doing back to the cosmic roots of humanity. However, it also has some problems. Huxley is known as an active promoter of eugenics, and he coined the word transhumanism. The basis for this is his accelerationist thinking. He claimed that the time scale of stellar evolution is 10,000 times as extensive as that of the evolution of life, and this is 100,000 times as extensive as that of human civilization. Human civilizations have more intensive timescales than biological evolution. Based on such a logic, he insisted that artificial selection is more important than natural selection. Next, we examine counter strategies to accelerationism. The first is decelerationism by German sociologist Hartmut Rosa. He made very detailed analysis of modern acceleration phenomena. He argues that social acceleration has three dimensions: technical, social change, and the pace of life. These three reinforce each other to form what he calls the circle of acceleration. The most serious impact of the accelerated process, he believes, is the transformation of our identities. He called this situational identity. That is, identity becomes ephemeral, and any definition of identity is no longer stable in itself. This ephemeralization of identity is brought about by a rapid increase in choice and contingency due to the temporalization of complexity. People lose autonomy and direction, and long-term thinking becomes impossible. Life doesn't head anywhere, it goes nowhere. The result is the experience of detemporalization or frenetic standstill, such as depression, stagnant time, and futurelessness. Rosa shows five breaks or decelerators: human natural or biological limit to follow the speed of acceleration, islands or oases of deceleration, such as a religious group that keep a distance from modern society, slowdown as a dysfunctional side effect, for example, traffic jam or depression. Intentional deceleration, such as deep ecology, slow food, or bluntly simplistic movement, and structural and cultural rigidity, frenetic standstill. But according to him, all of these consequences or complements of accelerationism. It seems to me that he has failed to present a decisive way of realizing deceleration. The second counter strategy is Chinese philosopher Yu Hui's cosmotechnics. Cosmotechnics is a combination of cosmology and technology. He warns against the unification of time by Western modernity and its technology. He criticizes transhumanism or dark enlightenment as the victory over humanism that aspires to reinvent Homo sapiens through technological acceleration. China's current technological development is just a variant of accelerationism, so he calls it sino-futurism. Instead, he tries to consider another form of acceleration that doesn't push speed to its extreme, but rather change the direction of movement, giving technology a new frame and orientation with regard to time and technological development. By so doing, we can also imagine a bifurcation of the future. Enlightenment thought with modern technology guided by universality and rationality is not the only and irreversible process. But does it mean to give technology a new frame? This is his project of cosmotechnics. He argued if we affirm that the multiple cosmotechnics exist and that these may allow us to transcend the limit of sheer rationality, then we can find a way out of never-ending modernity and the disasters that have accompanied with it. We have seen left and right accelerationism and two counter strategies. I guess that big historians' attitudes toward the acceleration phenomenon are also not monolithic but divided. I would like to argue my thoughts on the big history approach. First of all, you, accelerationism, accelerationism's time and space perspective is very narrow. In general, modernity's space-time consciousness has a tendency to become very narrow and shallow because of its short-termism. An economic geographer, David Harvey, called it time-space compression. French philosopher Paul Virilio considered how the modern narrow perspective shows itself under acceleration phenomena. He calls his study dolomology. The name was coined by him from the Greek word dolomos, which means race or speed. According to him, we have lost our sense of proper distance and have fallen into a state of gray ecology due to distance pollution, and we suffer from claustrophobia, as if we were trapped in a bunker. The second characteristic of accelerationism is reflexivity. Nick Land said that the basic accelerationist thesis is that modernity is dominated by positive feedback processes rather than negative feedback processes. This statement is related with co-evolution with ourselves of Erich Jantz and reflexive modernization and risk society of Ulrich Beck and Anthony Giddens. Accelerationism shows self-referential, closed existence of humanity, and it is a form of anthropocentrism in the Anthropocene. I believe that Buddhist big history is effective in dealing with this situation. Buddhist big history considers modern anthropocentrism is the main cause of problems in the Anthropocene. And we can say life itself has some kind of centrism. So anthropocentrism is a result of the karma of centrism in the history of life. Buddhist big history tries to overcome anthropocentrism by cosmic perspective, deep time thinking, and cosmic humanism. Humanism is an idea that resists all anti-human things. Then, what is human? As long as we consider evolution and complexity to be the sole foundation of humanity, we cannot counteract their anti-humanistic effect. Big history considers that human being has four identity: situational, social, historical, biological, and cosmic. and big history provides us cosmic biological identity. I believe big history is not futurism but originism. It means that we acquire our identity or vision not by accelerating into the future, but by going back to our origins in the past. Mainstream big history is one of the various complexity theories developed in the 20th century, but it has advantages that other complexity theories don't have. Big history is aware that increasing complexity has the side effect of increasing entropy. Eric Chanson's energy flow density rate and Christian's entropy tax are the expression of the awareness. Japanese biologist Tatsuo Motokawa pointed out that modern acceleration phenomenon is caused by an increase in energy flow. Acceleration phenomena with energy increase can also be found in biological history. Homeothermic animals use 15 times more energy per body weight than heterothermic animal, which allows them to move quickly. He said, let's assume that the cold-blooded animal of our ancestors woke up one day and turned into homeothermic animals. Your life has become very busy, hasn't it? It would increase, if we could increase our 3 meals to 45 now and earn 15 times our salary. Homeothermic animals keep time constant by keeping their body temperature constant. He said, when a mosquito enters a cold air mass, time slows down, and when it leaves, time speeds up again. And he pointed out that humans have evolved into homeoenvironmental animal, keeping environmental condition and the speed of time constant by using tremendous amount of energy. We need to control the flow of energy in a time, but to do that, we need to control time, and we need to control complexity. We can regard washoku as an example of originism in Japanese culture. Culinary researcher Yoshiharu Doi describes the importance of ichiju issai. Ichiju issai literally means one soup, one dish, or simple meal. He said, we have always been told to evolve by trying new things and doing things that no one else has done. Washoku is based on the idea that the best thing is to do nothing. So what is evolution? It is the value of human existence born from the Western view of nature. In Japanese cuisine, the creation of human existence is deepening. Evolution is based on the religion and philosophy that we should live like that. What we Japanese are good at is deepening. We can consider Ichiju Issei is one of Japanese type of cosmotechnics. This is my conclusion. While critically grasping the anthropocentrism of evolutionary complexity theory, cosmic humanism tries to find deeper roots of human nature. That is, humanism with the depths of time. The image of humanity in cosmic humanism is humans are made of layers of diverse identities, and we are beings who integrate various timescales in ourselves. We establish fundamental independence by tracing our own biological and cosmic origins. Religious scholar Mircea Eliade called it open existence with an additional dimension. We are open and relational existence seeking for mutualization, and it is deep time that gives us this additional dimension. How to create a symbiotic space that makes other times possible. We need a chronocommons and big histories multi-layered deep time structure will enable us to construct chronocommons. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.